Hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest challenge on our BN channel because this is the 1973 Oil Crisis Land Yacht Challenge. If you are wondering what is a land yacht, well, it's very simple. It's a classic car, it's a classic American car from the 70s, 60s, or wherever, which tends to be huge in every single way. Everything is just big, long, and very, very comfy and just fuel thirsty. And I mean, as we all know, land yachts are not lightweight. They are really, really heavy machines, tend to be like ladder chassis or unibody chassis, and with huge engines up front, automatic gearbox, comfy suspension. You know the package, classic American cars. And well, the challenge here is to make a perfect land yacht, perfect 1973 land yacht when, of course, as we all know, and because in 1973 there was the oil crisis in the United States, which was, a shortage and high prices of fuel or gas, as they call it, and that meant that car manufacturers back then starts to make their engines, more efficient than they used to be. Because in the 60s, no, they were just gas guzzling machines, and that means, in plain English, that means very, very fuel thirsty car, very, very inefficient car with tons of horsepower and crazy acceleration. But in 1973, all that changed because people start to care about fuel efficiency and mileage and all that crazy nonsense. All right, so if you want to participate in this challenge for a chance to win this car, the prize car for this challenge, which is the Rovoli 427 cubic inch, as you can see, land yacht or a sedan in automation terms. The rules are very, very simple if you want to participate, and get your pencils ready and let's start talking about the rules, of course. All right, so the first and the most important rule, which is the production year in automation game, which is 1973. The next bit, which is of course the body type, sedans only, four-door sedans only, with 2.80 meters of wheelbase. Yes, that's the minimum wheelbase. Anything below 2.80 will get disqualified. Only 2.80 and up will be counted as a land yacht in this challenge. I know some of you will say it's too big. Maybe in real life a land yacht can get a little bit smaller than that, maybe bigger than that. But I'm gonna consider, because of the body types that are available from automation game, the vanilla version. That's why I said 2.80 meters. I think meters, yeah, which is the wheelbase. That's the minimum. The next bit, which is of course the materials, no limited production materials, because there you can find some fiberglass or aluminium cars, but no, not in this challenge. No limited production materials, because the car that you will be making, of course, will be mass produced. The next bit, which is of course the engine placement, you can choose any engine placement you want, longitudinal and rear engine, front engine, whatever. It's up to you, my friend. Any engine placement you want. The next bit, which is of course the engine. The engine, you can use absolutely any engine you want. Really, because the typical engine that you can use for these cars is of course a V8. But I'm gonna allow any engine you want. But there's a little condition, which is the minimum capacity of the engine needs to be at least 4000 cc or a 4-liter engine. That's minimum, no less, no smaller than a 4-liter engine. Whatever the engine type, inline 4, V8, V12, V16, whatever, 4-liter, a 4-liter minimum. The next bit, which is of course the fuel type. Well, I want to make it a little bit more challenging, which is 91 unleaded octane fuel. Yes, my friends, 91 unleaded octane fuel. The next bit, which is the intake, you can choose only standard intake, no performance, no race, because these are like comfy cars, not performance cars. So I know that the car is, as you can see, sliding, but yeah, as you can see, it's not really a performance car. It's just a comfy four-door sedan. The next bit, which is of course the exhaust, no race exhaust, but you can choose absolutely any other manifold you want, cast log, tubular, but no race headers, of course. And you need to use two-way catalytic converters. The catalytic converters are required because you are using 91 octane fuel. I need to use catalytic converters. The next bit is of course engine loudness. Your engine needs to be quiet, so your engine loudness needs to be less than 30 points. The next bit is of course fuel efficiency. Your engine needs to have at least 15% fuel efficiency, at least. And then your engine needs to cost less than $1,600, no more than $1,600. Any engine you want. The next bit is of course the engine production units, 45 points max. The engine engineering time is 100 points max. Yes, my friends, 100 points max for the ET, and the PU is 45 max. Now, the main goal of the engine that you will be making is, the highest priority that you need to pay extreme attention to, which is of course fuel efficiency, or eco. Your engine needs to be really efficient. Use anything you want to make your engine absolutely efficient. And of course your second priority is to get it as powerful as possible. That's the challenge, to get it as efficient and as powerful as possible. And of course now we are moving on to the gearbox section. You can choose, as I've mentioned, any drive type you want. Because of any engine placement you want, you can go rear-wheel drive and of course front-wheel drive, because yes, there were actually some land yachts that came front-wheel drive. I think some Cadillacs came with some big fat V8 up front and front-wheel drive, which is really weird, but I think some people will call it smart. I'm not really sure, but yeah, they did that. But of course, no 4x4 at all, because we are not making off-road cars. We are making classic American land yachts. The gearbox, of course, because we are making land yachts, no manual at all, only automatic. Yes, only automatic gearbox. Any ratio you want, it's up to you, 2, 3, whatever. Yes, but only automatic. And that of course lead us to the next debate, which is of course the differential. Of course, it needs to be open differential only. No manual locker and no automatic locker. Only open differential, to keep it cheap and to keep it affordable and to keep it, realistic. Now the next bit, which is of course tires. Yes, my friends, tires, because in 1973 you can find two types of tires, radial and cross ply, I think. So the only allowed tire type, which is of course radial tires only, hard or medium. No sport, no semi-slick, and of course no chunky off-roaders. That's very obvious, hard or medium. The rim material, you can choose any rim material you want, steel, magnesium, alloy, it's up to you. And that of course leads us to the next bit, which is of course the brakes. You can choose any brake type you want, discs, drums, it's up to you. A single piston, double pistons, it's up to you also. But there is a little bit that you need to pay attention to, which is of course the pad type, because in BeamNG.Drive, if you want to get regular normal discs, I'm talking about disc brakes. If you want to get normal disc brakes, the normal stock OEM ones, not the drilled or the slotted ones, the regular crappy ones. If you want to get them in BeamNG.Drive, your pad type in automation game needs to be 40 or less. That's why the pad type is only 40 or less, no more than 40 for the pad type. That's it. That's it. 40 max. The next bit, which is of course the brake fade. These cars are famous for fading the brakes, because if you go with drums or regular discs, they will fade. That's very obvious. But I'm gonna only allow 4% of brake fadeness. That's it on all three categories. 4% max on all four categories. 1% more, or even 0.5%, or whatever percentage more than 4%, I'm gonna disqualify the whole car. So please pay attention. The next bit is of course the aerodynamics. You can choose any under tray you want, semi-flat, whatever. Yeah. The next bit is the engine cooling. The default engine cooling, to keep the engine cool and to keep the car reliable, no overheating issues, is 50. That's it, 50 minimum. You can increase it more than 50. It will make your car more reliable, which is better. It's up to you, but the minimum is 50. Now the brake airflow, or the brake cooling airflow, needs to be at least at least 10. Yes, 10 at least, to keep the brakes a little bit cool, to give them a little air to breathe. Because if I'm gonna drive this car as quickly as possible, if I'm gonna drive your car as quickly as possible, and if I'm gonna use the brakes, I don't want your car to fade and to crash into a tree. So at least 10, give them a little air to breathe, to cool down. And the next bit, which is of course the interior. Of course, the interior for in any land yacht needs to have a rear bench and 2 seats up front. That means a minimum 5 seats. Yes, my friends, the minimum should be 5 seats, and the maximum 6 seat if you want to go fully on classic American, like a bench up front and a bench back there. It's up to you. You can go 5 or 6 seats. Now the interior, please don't choose basic interior or sport interior, because basic interior is just really bad and rubbish. And sport interior, because look at this car. Yes, I know it's going on this rally course like a crazy beast, but it's not really a sport car. It needs to be comfy. The seats needs to be like a big fat sofa. So yeah, no sport and no basic. Now the entertainment system is of course required. You need to have an entertainment system like a radio or something. So yeah, it's required, and please again don't choose the basic. No basic entertainment system. Now the next bit, which is of course the driving aids. Power steering is required. You need to have power steering with these cars. These cars are just comfy machines, and of course you need to turn the steering wheel with your little pinky. That's why you need to have a hydraulic power steering. Now the next bit is of course the safety. The safety of course is required. You need to have, say, seat belts and some other crazy safety equipment. So yes, it's required. And please again, the safety, you can choose anything you want. The safety, you can choose anything you want, basic safety, standard, advanced, whatever, but it's required. So please don't choose the non-option. Now the final bit, which is of course the suspension. You can choose any springs you want, any dampers, any whatever, but make sure that your car is super comfy. And this is an important bit, which is of course no cargo warning lights, because if you make your suspension really soft, the springs, if you make the springs frequency very low to make your car comfortable, the car will start to bottom out, and it will give you a warning light that says your cargo volume something. In plain English, that means if you put boxes in the trunk, or a cargo in the trunk, and if you ask passengers to sit in the car will actually bottom out. Yeah, so please make sure your suspension is really comfy and really cushy, and of course without that stupid warning light, that yellow warning light, which called cargo something. Yeah, please make sure that, because if I see any suspension with that warning lights, yeah, the whole car will get disqualified. So please pay attention to that. The suspension really needs to be spot on. Alright, so now these are all the rules, except for a final bit that I forgot to mention, and I apologize about that, which is of course the total car price and engineering time and production units. Now the total car price on 0% margin needs to be $14,000, $14,000 max. That's your car total price. I'm not talking about the material cost, that small number, on the top right in the market section. No, I'm talking about the big number on the bottom left corner of the screen next to the margin. Yes, that's your car. That's your car total price, not that small one. So please also make sure your car, costs $14K max. If you go cheaper, it will be better for the customers, but yeah, $14K max. And now the whole car engineering time and total production units. Now the whole car production unit needs to be, let's see. Oh my god, I'm looking at the jump. That was absolutely epic in slow-mo. All right, so the whole car engineering time needs to be 95 max, and the whole car production units needs to be 90 max. Yes, my friends, those are all the rules. Now I'm really happy that a lot of guys are participating in my challenges. It's really awesome to see tons and tons of participants, but unfortunately I'm a single human. I'm a single man. I'm just sitting here managing all the channel by myself, reviewing all the cars by myself. And of course, I have other priorities like work, family, and whatever. And yeah, if I get like 100, for example, 100 participants or more, I'm gonna require tons of time to do them without without any single mistake, and that is rare. I mean, if I have many participants, I will definitely make a mistake, like forget someone's car or judge someone's car wrong, and that will lead to angry participants, and maybe they will start shouting at me. That's why I'm gonna do something special in this challenge, which is of course limiting that. And if you are wondering how I'm gonna of course limit the participants, it's very simple. The day and the minute this video will be released on YouTube that you are watching right now, the minute that you have watched this video and got released, I will only accept the first 40 participants. I'm not kidding. The moment this video is live on YouTube, I'm gonna start of course accepting 40 participants only. Of course, you have a full week, the usual thing, the usual deadline, but I'm gonna accept the first 40 participants. If the 40 participants are in, I'm gonna of course close the participants. I'm gonna close the participation for this challenge. So yeah, don't break any rules. Please make sure your car is beautiful, breathtaking in every single way, and please make sure that your car is realistic. I mean, a lot of people are saying, why do you need wipers? Well, of course, to make your car road legal, you need to have wiper blades, headlights, tail lights, a fuel filler cap, door handles. These things are normal. I mean, this is just a normal car. You need to make your car looks as realistic and as beautiful as possible. Use your imagination. Get crazy. Search for 1970s car on Google, and I mean, get inspired. Give me something absolutely crazy with crazy amount of, for example, horsepower, fuel efficiency, and as comfortable as possible, and so on. Use your get creative, my friend. So that's pretty much it for this video. But as always, I forgot to open my calendar to see what kind of and when the deadline will be. So right now, when I'm recording this video, it's the 1st of April, and yeah, this is not April Fools. No, I'm not into that nonsense. So yeah, it's the 1st of April. That means you have 7 days, which means till next week, which is of course the 8th of April at 6 p.m. plus 3 GMT time. That's the deadline for this challenge, because I'm gonna use the total category point system, which is of course I'm gonna calculate the 8 individual categories, which they are drivability, sport, comfort. Well, of course I'm gonna ignore sport because, well, obviously these cars are not sporty at all, but yeah, drivability, sport, comfort, eco, prestige, reliability, practicality, and of course eco. These 8 categories. But of course I'm gonna forget about the sport. So they will be only 7 categories. So yeah, I'm gonna calculate them, and you can of course calculate your total category points by adding all these 7 categories together. Add them together and you will get your total category number, which will of course determine if your car is in the final video or not. So I make sure your car has the highest total category points. Make sure your car is perfect and beautiful to look at in every single, of course, measure, and as beautiful to drive as possible and as efficient as possible, and so on. And of course, don't rush your creation if you can, and if you can't, make sure to be as efficient as possible. And of course, if you want to submit your car, the link in the description below for my Discord, so you can submit your .car file from Automation Game on my Discord, link in the description below. So that's pretty much it. Those are all the rules. I hope that you have so much fun with the video, with the challenge, of course. Don't forget to, of course, check out my Patreon page, the link in the description below, if you want to download this car that you have seen in this video, which was absolutely crazy to drive. I mean, I've never had so much fun like in this car. It's a tire smoking machine. It's a comfortable cruiser. It's an efficient car. It's even a rally car, a drag car. It's just every other car in a single car, which is absolutely crazy. If you want to download this car, if you want to download all of my other crazy creations like the Project X, which is the fastest car I've ever created, which can go 720 kilometers per hour, which has 4,500 horsepower. If you want to download like my crazy replicas like the Toyota AE86 or the of course the 1975 Porsche Classic 911, all of these crazy cars plus other crazy supercharged monsters, drift monsters, the Gladiator 1000, all these cars are available right now on my Patreon page, the link in the description below. And of course, by signing up and downloading my cars, you'll be supporting this channel and giving me more motivation to do more videos and more challenges, of course, so I can upgrade the channel. And if you want to show your love and support even more, you can of course purchase a t-shirt, a BN t-shirt from the BN shop, also the link in the description below, so you can wear it everywhere else. Or if you're embarrassed by wearing it, of course you can throw it in your closet. But of course, if you do purchase a t-shirt, I would love a screenshot or something, or a picture of you actually wearing that t-shirt, because it will be an absolutely crazy moment. Alright, so as always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and of course to check out my previous videos over here, get subscribed over here, and I will see you very soon, my friends. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now, my friends.